So BTC is still playing games with us. It's floating around the 62K level. Are they just going to send it down and try and end us now? Or are they going to pump it up and try and break some trends for us? So we got a lot to look at today with regards to BTC, because it's going to affect a lot of our current trading plans on these altcoins. Then I've got obviously the most obvious narrative at the moment. If you don't know about it, it's Apple and what has been going on with Apple and AI tokens. We're talking about that and what type of impact are we going to have on some of these other tokens in this AI narrative as well. So I've teed up lots of tokens for you guys on this AI narrative. We're going to take a look at. We got some insane targets coming out for render and things like that if this market is going to remain bullish. So we got tons to talk about, and I've also got a couple of meme coins for you. So there's a lot happening here today. Let's get right into this. Again, I almost did it again. I almost hit you with my end screen, bro. Ray, it's because you're not wearing those goggles, bro. I need the bullish goggles. Okay, banter bubbles. Let's see what's going on. It's blood red. My eyes are burning. But I see RUNE has finally popped for us. So those of you in the Sniper Club, I sent out a RUNE long about 2 or 3 days ago. We just took a little bit of time, but now this RUNE is actually firing. So I've got this trade set up for you guys. It's actually broken a key resistance zone that could play a big support role for us. So you're not too late for RUNE. I'm going to talk to you guys about that as well. I'm going to give you some big areas here. And Ray, what's going on with our chats? These chat designs look slightly different, but that's interesting. Okay, maybe some kind of upgrade there. Ray, where's the goggles, bro? Where's the goggles? Bro?
I mean, are we bullish?
It's AI, bro. It's AI. It doesn't matter. It's AI. Okay. Okay, so banter bubbles looking messy. What actually happened yesterday? Let's just recap. We had this Apple news come through. We had all these AI tokens leading the charge. The AI narrative was running the show for the last few days and it was propping up the market, to be fair. Then obviously Apple released their news, and the most obvious play there was to take profit at resistance zones or start looking at potential shorts there just to buy or just to get involved in this little pullback. Now, we are obviously long-term bullish on AI. And after a pump like we've seen on some of these tokens, 40-50%, it's perfectly acceptable now after this news has come out to get some kind of pullback, let us reload and things like that. So we're going to take a close look at that. So don't be too terrified if you see Tower down 10%, WIF down 11%, Athena, ENA 9%. So the guys are definitely under pressure here, but RUNE seems to be the shining light. Let's just look at what the current BTC deal is, and you can see they're playing big games with us. And number one, we are sitting on a 382, so it's very important. I always bring this up: the 382s, the 618s, these are big levels, these are reaction zones, and once again they're not letting us down. Look, we're getting a reaction on this area. This is exactly what we talk about. These are the zones where the market starts deciding the next move and the next step, and sometimes it just floats around in these areas for a little moment or a little moment in time while it decides. So right now, what are you watching for BTC? Very closely here, 61790. 61790. We start losing that, I'm going to say 60K is coming, and I would expect it to happen relatively quickly. Look at this candle here that they can come and take out here relatively quickly for us. So if we lose this 382, buckle up, because we might be in a little bit of pain on some of your altcoin trades. If you're sitting in alts with tight stops, you might be hitting some stops if we start losing that 382. So this is a massive area that we're going to watch now. So number one, watch this 61790 to 61700, and then the big one for me is anything down to around about 60K. Look out for a little wick below, little sweat under that region, and then a potential move up. What is interesting to me is this oversold 4-hour stochastic. Obviously, we got things like the 12-hour, the daily. They are sitting quite high on BTC at the moment, but this oversold 4-hour could tell us that maybe we're going to get some kind of reversal, some kind of bounce. But watch these two levels closely. And when do we turn super bullish? Same story as yesterday. Once we start cracking a trend, then we can start looking at a little bit, a little bit more exciting things. And the first level I'm going to be targeting is going to be 64 34,400. So that is what I'm looking at. That is my current plan with BTC. And I am in a couple of trades at the moment. I was going to just show you a couple of things. Well, let's actually deal with this right now. If you go into the link in the show description, you can take a look. There's a whole menu here of things happening, but there's currently a special going on with Bybit that I need to bring your attention to. Remember, we got the Gummy airdrop that is coming, and they're saying, Bybit, if you deposit $100, you can be eligible for over 1.5 million of the Gummy airdrop. So deposit $100, then trade $500, and they're actually going to match you with another $100 in your Bybit account. So I've been playing around on Bybit at the moment. You can see what's going on here. I'm currently sitting in a Doge short here, and I'm in an IMX long that I'm under a little bit of pressure in. So we're going to watch and see how that one is going to play out. But, you know, we'll play the game. So actively in Bybit here, get stuck into Bybit, give it a go. There's multiple options here with Bybit. They're doing margin, they're doing futures as well. And they've got this thing called a unified trading account, only for the experienced guys, though. But take a look at Bybit and take advantage. This is a limited offer available here until the end of the month. So make sure you take advantage of that. Let's oh, Cameron says Cass is looking good. I'm loving these new chats that are coming up on the screen. It's looking quite cool. Okay, let's see what's going on here in the news. There Ray's back. Ray's bullish. He's back. Okay, we are so back. Okay, so Cointelegraph. This is very interesting news, guys, because this is potential liquidity coming into the market. This is potential pumpermentals happening here right before our eyes. Cointelegraph says the bankrupt FTX plans to offer 98% of creditors 118% payout, plus billions in compensation for the rest. Okay, what does that tell me? These people were in crypto before. Okay, so what do you do when you get free money that you've now written off, that you thought you were never going to get back? What do? You pump it straight back into the market. And most of these guys are probably degens as well, I would assume. So things could get a little bit spicy. And here's Thomas saying the FTX estate will be paying out soon. They're returning $15 billion in cash. Okay, these are crypto players from 2 years ago. Imagine waking up and suddenly there's $15 billion again available, and you were in crypto before. Where are you sending that? Ask yourself that question. For me, if it was me, I'd send it straight into XRP. Just kidding, just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. There's liquidity coming back into the market. So watch this. This is pretty bullish for what is going on. And I love this tweet from the DeFi investor. He says, BTC dipped 15% and most retail investors already rage quit. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. You can't give up that quickly on a BTC dump. It's painful to watch. And just a reminder, Simply Bitcoin says Bitcoin is up 49% year to date. Now look at the comparables. What have we got? Bitcoin's 49% up. The Nikkei is 14%. The Nasdaq's 9%. S&P is 8%. Gold is 12%. And Tesla is minus 25%. Okay. So what is this telling us? Bitcoin is the boss. And it will continue to be the boss. And you saw those targets I gave you guys yesterday from Standard Chartered. They were talking 150K to 200K Bitcoin by the end of 2025. So, you know, the returns could be slightly better than gold, I would think. Maybe Peter Schiff's not going to be very happy when that does happen. And I see Onka liked my XRP. He liked my XRP jokes. Guys, we love XRP. And don't forget, I'm also running a poll. Let's see this poll here that we got going on in the chats. What are we saying here? We said, what performs best into 2025? Okay, so I'm not talking about in the next few days. I'm saying what performs best here. AI narrative, memes, RWAs, or XRP. And we got 44%, okay, calling the AI narrative. And I must say, I tend to agree with you guys. And I'm going to give you some more information that could potentially start fueling the fire. Okay, and Matthew gave us a nice chart. You have seen this before. I brought this up the other day, but basically consolidation in the uptrend favors a continuation of the uptrend, and he's drawn a beautiful little picture here. And he's basically calling by saying, showing us these boxes. He's basically calling the bottom is in, effectively, according to this box, and higher targets potentially are coming our way. Now, Bitcoin News also says Bitcoin exchange inflow hits the lowest level since 2015 at 20K BTC. What does this mean? Well, in the past, we often saw people sending Bitcoin to exchanges. Why would you send Bitcoin to an exchange? Well, probably to sell it, okay? And now we've got less and less going into the exchanges. It means people are holding, and maybe that is a bullish indicator here that things are going to potentially start moving up. Jason says gaming will do very well. I agree. Gaming is definitely due some kind of move. Diablo says, Dylan has such dad humor. Guys, I am a dad. What do you want me to do? You must see the type of jokes I talk about at home. I get eyes rolled at me, but I love
Dylan. Papa Dylan. What's up with the likes? What's going on with the likes?
Guys, Ray put on his AI goggles, especially for this moment. If you are enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. Okay, let's get stuck in here and listen to Ray's in the chats, firing up these likes for you guys. And sincerely, George says bullish Ray is in the house. And okay, cool, guys. Well, let's see. I can see the chats coming through here. Keep up the good spirits and keep up the XRP jokes, like the Van Buren voice says XRP is hot garbage. Okay, keep it coming. Let's get stuck into what we are here for. Everything bounced, but it's clear, according to Darn Crypto, which sectors are still leading the market. AI and meme coins, okay? And like I've explained before, we cannot ignore this meme coin situation. We can hate them as much as you want, if you dislike it, whatever. But if there's an opportunity for a bounce, if there's an opportunity for a trade, you need to be looking where there's strength and where the money is moving. And for the time being, any pullbacks, we're looking at things like AI coins, and we're looking at these meme coins. So hate it or love it, that is where the money's going. If you want to make money, and I showed you that chart on ADA the other day, we had a 50% pump on AI tokens, and we only had a 13% pump on ADA. Now, you tell me what's a better trade on a recovery in the market. You can decide for yourself. And okay, S&P looking good. Okay, we spoke about this last week. We've blown the 50-day MA, looking hot here, and a nice little trend break. Can it hold? Well, that's our support. 5136 is what we are going to be watching for the S&P. And let's look at dominance one more time here. Oh, well, not one more time. There's a first time today. Now, I've been watching dominance very closely on the 4-hour chart, and this has been really playing out well with these altcoins, and it's been guiding us very nicely when we look for these rejection zones. Remember, when dominance is rejecting for us, these are the areas that you get relief on the altcoins or a pump on the altcoin. So just keep tracking these horizontals here on Bitcoin dominance, and you can see whenever we reject, you might have noticed a couple of hours ago, we had a nice green, few green candles on those altcoins. That was this dominance busy rejecting at this horizontal. So as long as this horizontal, as long as this dominance is pushing lower, we are cooking in our altcoins, and we are happy. If that dominance is pushing higher, exercise caution. Make sure if dominance is pushing higher, that Bitcoin is pushing higher, because if Bitcoin is dumping and dominance is pushing higher, then you are going to be under lots of pressure in your altcoins. So just take the foot off the leverage, slow it down a little bit when you get these type of situations, and keep your eyes on it. Okay, let's look at Sol just for fun, because Sol is basically the new ETH at the moment. So let's pay some attention to Solana, and a nice little rejection off horizontals. We spoke about this area yesterday. We also saw a rejection on Sol versus ETH, and just a typical now reaction at a range high, push lower. And my first region of interest for Sol, if you're a Sol trader, you're looking for an entry, I'm still loving this 138 to 140 region. Watch that zone. For me, that could be a nice little entry. But if Bitcoin is going to push down to 60K, you better watch out. A little bit lower here on Solana, you're looking at about 120, in my opinion. So it depends what that dump looks like. If it's a slow bleed into 60K, I'm pretty certain we're going to see Sol at 12. If they try and dump it and just wick you down quickly, maybe you'll get a little move into this sort of mid area here around 130. But I would say Bitcoin at 60K, most likely you're looking at Solana around about 120. So just watch that, watch those levels very closely. Okay, what do we have in this week, and what are our catalysts here? Why am I still bullish on AI and all these types of things? Well, don't forget, NVIDIA have got their first quarter results coming through on May the 22nd of May. Okay, so pay attention. And the last few times NVIDIA have had good earnings, these AI tokens have really pumped into the NVIDIA earnings. And if they start talking AI and they start mentioning things like that, we've seen Render and a lot of these other AI tokens start absolutely ripping. So pay attention to NVIDIA over the next 2 weeks. Okay, we've got earnings coming up. Let's look for an NVIDIA pump into earnings, maybe some kind of talk later at a press conference or something, maybe some extra bullish news there, and maybe we get a nice big run on some of these AI tokens. So NVIDIA, here's the NVIDIA chart. And so far, all is well. We had this beautiful break of the 50-day MA, and now we just want to make sure NVIDIA is going to hold it. So if you are trading NVIDIA, use this 50-day MA as a support marker. So anything down to about 860 for me looks like a nice little area there for NVIDIA. And then a little bit lower down, you can play around at about 830. This is kind of where you want to be leading into these earnings. So any sort of pullbacks now on NVIDIA before earnings could be nice. Could be a nice opportunity to grab a little bit of a position here, especially if you are bullish on NVIDIA and you believe that they might be producing some decent results, and or they have something up their sleeve. So keep your eyes on these two levels here. 830 I quite like, and then a little bit higher, call it 860. Watch that region. Okay, now Mr. Crypto, he's just banged out a $200 target for Render. Okay, I don't know if that is that possible, but he's basically saying Render was shilled at the official Apple event, and his target is $200 for the cycle. Now remember, in a bull market, anything can happen. I mean, we saw Phantom last bull market hitting $3.30. What were the other ridiculous numbers? We had Filecoin, something like $200. So ridiculous things can happen. And again, there's nothing ridiculous about Render. It's a legit proper situation going on here. But right now, Render's trading, around 9 or 10. And this 200 is a massive move that he is talking about. But nonetheless, I think it's fair that we can say we are bullish on the Render situation. So we're going to look at that shortly. And then obviously the Apple chart. Let's just look what's happening. Remember, they've got a massive buyback, and the market really enjoyed that news, and they've pumped Apple. So now the real test is Apple going to hold these horizontals now on any pullbacks. So if you are trading Apple, same story. You're watching this horizontal 177, and you're watching a little bit lower 169. These are both your big levels for Apple that you're looking for potential bounces. You're looking for potential entries if you are a stock trader. If you want to trade Apple, that could be a nice little play for you guys. And now let's get into the boss. Okay, so here's our current situation, Render. And now we had this beautiful pump that I spoke about, and banged straight into a 618. It's almost as the news came out, it was pushing into a 618. Now, isn't that something you see quite often? I mean, you've seen it on my charts. I use these fibs all the time. And the 618s come into play one more time for Render. So am I bullish on Render? Yes, 1000% bullish on Render. Do I believe it needs some kind of breather, some kind of recovery? Yes. And I'd like to say some kind of pullback on Render into these NVIDIA or earnings could be very healthy for the current situation. So what I'm watching at the moment, I'm watching 9.3. You can see why. I've got the 50-day MA coming into play here and the 382 fib. So that is an opportunity number one where you are looking for a potential bounce. And then opportunity number two is going to be round about 8.5. Okay, for me, I think that's a great area. If we get a bleed out in the next few days, maybe in the next 5 days onto that 8.5 level, that could be a golden entry for this push into NVIDIA earnings, and maybe just a little bit more momentum for us on Render. So watch that one closely. And currently, this is my trading situation on weeks. So I'm currently short Render. That news came out. It made sense that maybe it was going to have a little breath. So I've opened a little short on Render, but I've left my fetch long open. So the idea here was to keep this fetch long open. If I'm bullish on AI into the end of May, I obviously want to try and hold this fetch position and potentially grow it. So I'm using this Render short that you can see I'm currently in. That's going to pay to add to my fetch long that I'm now working on at the moment. So you can see this fetch long is growing slowly. It's $15,000 at the moment, and Render, I'm short 7.5. Let's see if we can get some extra margin here on this Render short, maybe onto that 382 level that I just showed you, and that could then potentially pay to add to this fetch long. So that is my current trading strategy on these two AI tokens, and I'm going to take you through fetch as well. And remember, if you want to trade with me on weeks, they have a limited offer. Look at this. The clock is ticking for you. There are 3 days left. They're offering you a 20% sign-up bonus. If you sign up to this link, it's exclusive to me. in the description here. Here's the tiers that they are giving you. These are the sign-up bonuses, and they are also running a special on some tokens at the moment as well. Things like Render, there's no fees at the moment for trading Render, so pay attention to that. Maybe that could be something bullish for you guys as well. So take advantage. The 20% sign-up bonus. There's no KYC on weeks. They have a new token coming, and there's going to be an airdrop as well of the new token. And how do you farm it? You farm it by trading on weeks. So get stuck into weeks if you want to take advantage of this limited offer. That clock is ticking down. You've got 3 days left to take advantage of that current situation. Okay, now, if we've got Render pumping, if AI is bullish, what do we do? Okay, we know Render's a great one. Where can Render go? Let's actually just cover quickly this Render target before we jump into the next one. And what I've done here is simply just pull a 1.618 for you guys, just to give you my first potential Render target. So I'm digressing a bit here, but this is what I'm looking at here. So 18.5 looks like a nice little area here for Render as phase number 1. And is that possibly the move that's going to come off the next Render pullback? Well, I can tell you what, if Bitcoin holds 60K and things turn bullish after that, we should see a situation where Render dips into the 618 at round about this 8.4, 8.5 level, and then could potentially start sending once Bitcoin gives us that 60K bounce. So ideally, you know, if you get this bleed out, this is your first big zone where you are looking for longs in that area there, and something along these lines. Okay, you want to take out that high first, but this could be a potentially massive trade brewing here on Render of about 120%. So mark these areas on your charts. Again, if you are buying spot and you are long-term bullish, it doesn't matter that much, but you obviously want to be greedy with your entry. So watch these two areas, 9.3 to 9.4 and 8.4, roughly 8.5, that sort of region. That should give you your nice little moves there on Render, tied in with Bitcoin at 60K. What is the Sushant says he wants some Matic action. We might have to bring that out of the coffin. I think it's in a coffin in the attic. But we can maybe look at Matic at some point when things start moving there again. Okay. Johnny says, okay, Apple about to send all the AI and GPU coins to new highs. Okay, now if Render's bullish, Render's pumping, Apple's talking AI, Nvidia's looking good, all these types of things, people start hunting. They start looking at other AI projects. They feel like maybe they've missed the 10xer on Render, maybe they've missed, you know, a 20xer, those type of things, and they start sniffing around at some other projects. So take a look at what Johnny is saying here. He's got OXO, he's got PAAL, he's got Desync, he's got HashHigh, GPU, DEAI, and Tao, which you've seen me speak about loads of times, and Fetch. So what I've done here is I've actually charted a handful of these tokens for you guys to look at. We need to take a look and just make sure you are positioned accordingly. And then we've got a nice tweet here from Chainmind, and he's got a great thread for you guys to look through. He's done a lot of work on some of these AI coins, and if you go through his thread here, this is OX Chainmind. You go through his thread, he's highlighted a couple of AI tokens he likes. Here's Ocean, that's one of them. Here's GLQ, there's another one. There's AIOZ, you've seen me speak about this multiple times. Here's PAAL as well. So I thought, let's go through some of these, try and position yourself, you know, in a good space here. If we're going to turn bullish on AI, some of these smaller caps could also potentially be great movers for you. So based on what he's giving us here, let's look at Ocean, which we know has been a killer proxy trade to Render over the last couple of days, and also interestingly rejected at a nice big resistance area, the same way we saw with tons of tokens, this 50-day MA coming into play and major resistance areas coming into play for us. And nice little move now from Ocean, nice big rejection. How do you play this if you are looking for an Ocean position? Well, number one, you want to watch BTC now. You want to see where BTC is going to settle, okay? We know these AI tokens have pumped hard, and it's perfectly fine now if there's some kind of breather, there's some kind of sell-off after the Apple hangover, after the news. So let's look into some interesting zones here for Ocean. Where can I nibble at positions if I want to build an Ocean position? Where's my first area? 0.89, okay? 0.89. Why do I like that? It's a normal 618 pullback, looking for some kind of bounce there. If the market's going to stay bullish and Bitcoin's going to hold this area, we should see Ocean start bouncing at around about 0.89. Now, What happens if Bitcoin starts dropping to 60K? Well, then we need to be a little bit more watchful and a little bit more careful. But our next area of interest for us is going to be 0.78. And we got to pay attention to this 200-day MA, which is coming up a little bit lower down. So let's just highlight this region here for you guys. And we're going to look for a reaction at around about this 200-day moving average at 0.68. Okay, so if you're trying to build an ocean position, you want to nibble 618. You can play around there. A little bit lower down, 0.78, and then the 200-day MA, big player here, 0.68. Watch that one closely. 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗙 likes 𝗕𝗬𝗕. We've been talking about that one for a couple of days there. I think that had a good 618 bounce, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what else we got. Who else is in the chats here? Manuel likes 𝗓𝗓. I saw 𝗓𝗓 started bouncing a little bit earlier today. We'll take a look. Meg is asking for CAS. So funnily enough, Sheldon and I both took some CAS trades earlier today on our Sniper Club paid session that we did with the members. So we can take a look at CAS. I think I've got it actually loaded up here for you guys. My next AI token of interest again is Fetch. Nice little pump. Doesn't it look identical to the current ocean situation? Bang into horizontals, bang into the 50-day MA, and now a nice juicy little rejection here for Fetch. So what am I looking at now for Fetch? I've highlighted this area for you now, and the area that we want to see a bounce, 2.11. Okay, so watch 2.11. This could be a nice little nibble zone for you guys. And then don't forget, I've also got a rising trend pushing higher here. So look out for maybe a push slightly lower into this rising trend and horizontal lower down. So let's just highlight this region over here. You're looking for something along these lines. So then you're looking at about 2 on the button. Okay, so there's 2 nice areas where we should get a reaction. 2.11 and 2 on the button there. So it's about 5% lower. And these are potential zones now where you can start building a little position. Now, remember, if we're teeing up into being bullish till the end of May, NVIDIA results, more Apple things, all these types of things, we want to see a nice sweat out on some of these AI tokens, but then we want to scoop them up at nice juicy zones. And these are the first 2 zones that look decent to me and that look interesting. So watch them closely. And look, it is interesting. We do have a trend retest here. So we'll watch this. But now that we've lost the 382, ideally, I want to see this push into the 618, slightly lower down here. And Daniel says Injective is looking to explode. Yes, so I actually saw an Injective tweet earlier today. There was a note. They're launching some kind of layer 3. So there is some news floating around on Injective, which is interesting. And it's definitely something you might want to start paying attention to in the near future. Maybe it's going to recover. It's been pretty sad for the last while, floating around that 23, 24 region. And let's see what transpires in the next couple of days. Okay, here's AIOZ, another banger that we've spoken about on the show multiple times here, and it's now drifting into an area of interest. So what did we do? We've blown the 50-day MA. So note on Fetch, note on Ocean, we are short the 50-day MA. AIOZ has now given us a break of this 50-day MA. Is it going to hold? Well, this remains to be seen, but you don't get much better DCA zones than on solid support areas. So take a look here for AIOZ. If you are looking for some kind of position on AIOZ, this would be DCA zone number 1. If Bitcoin suddenly starts ripping off this 382 that it's sitting on, we should see AIOZ. Pardon me. Pardon me. There was a thing flying around in here. We should see AIOZ bouncing around about this 50-day MA and this 382. If we go a little bit lower, we are looking at the 618, slightly lower down, 0.69. So if we start pushing Bitcoin down to the 60K level, I would say AIOZ at least we're going to see the 0.69 level. So look out there. And I want to just highlight this zone in case there is some kind of mega move on Bitcoin and they really start pushing things down and dominance starts ripping. These are key zones where you can accumulate AIOZ. Okay, if you are bullish on AI, you want to make sure you are grabbing them in great areas. Okay, and great area number 1 is where it is right now, a little bit lower down, 0.69, and then right at the bottom here, 0.565. Watch that very closely. These are great accumulation zones. These are great buy zones for you. For AIOZ, we know based on what we've seen, obviously, that AIOZ is potentially a massive ripper as well, and you definitely want to get a piece of that guy. Okay, let's see. Mahala says she also took a cash trade today. Let's see what else. Who else is here? Hash is on fire, Andrew says. What else we got? Balls. Satish says he's balls deep in Brett, little worried. Balls deep in Brett, little worried. Please chart. Okay, so Brett was that meme that sold off because there was accusations that the holders, that the developers or whatever had like 60% of the holdings or something like that. So the guys weren't very impressed with it. Well, we can take a look at that. Remember, these meme tokens, they do bounce back. And especially if there's, a decent community behind it, you should be okay there. Right. One of the tokens you saw in those tweets was PAAL. Okay, so ChainMind is talking about PAAL Mind. And he says PAAL is an ecosystem using AI and ML to allow users to create and deploy personalized AI bots across platforms like Telegram and Discord. Okay, so probably similar to Palm AI, which you have seen as well on the show. So a nice little project, market cap 400 million. And look at this, quite interesting. Okay, nice little strong bounce at the moment on a decent zone. So if you like the idea of this PAAL, slightly smaller cap, what do you want to be looking at? Well, number one, you've got a nice little support region. So this is a good buy area. This is a good DCA zone that you can play around with. Anything down to 0.4. Okay, look at this region, 0.4, and then slightly lower down, we've got the 200-day MA coming into play, and another great accumulation area, another great area where if you get a move down into this type of region, this is where you're looking to take advantage of these things. Okay, so watch BTC at 60K. You could see this PAAL pushing down to 0.29 at around about this 200-day MA. So watch that closely. If you are currently in a PAAL position, well, you can see you've got clear support now. And if you are trading this, for example, you've got a clear bounce zone, you've got a clear invalidation zone here. So if you start losing this 0.4, then you want to start expecting a potential move lower down. So if you are in a leverage position or you're trading it, you want to exit under that 0.4. If you are trying to accumulate a position, well, you can buy some right here on this nice support level. And if you get a dip lower down, you can add to your position and start just growing at nice DCA zones here for PAAL. So good one from that perspective. And Rodolfo, also our research guy, also very bullish on PAAL. The other one that another one that was in this tweet is GLQ. So this is graph linked. Okay, now this is a small cap. Okay, these are the ones that you can get your 5x. These are the ones that you can get your 8x. Those type of moves in a bull run. So highlighting GLQ for you guys could be an interesting play. We don't have much data here currently on BitGet, but you can see it's a very small cap. So this is something that you start buying just small amounts, and you basically have to just forget about it for a while. Be a little bit patient. It's a $30 million market cap. When the AI narrative really starts flying, these type of things are going to start popping off, and you're going to start getting big moves out of these guys. So GLQ, there's not much to chart here. There's not much to say other than watch this big support level. If you start losing that support level, well, we don't know. It's going to be price discovery to the downside. But what we do know is $30 million market cap, some big people talking about it, sounds great fundamentally, could be a nice little accumulation buy for you guys. So nibble at this thing, get little bits of it, and when the time is right, you're going to see some of these AI tokens are going to start absolutely blowing up. Another one, ENQAI or ENQAI, inspired by Sumerian god Enki. Okay, develops unbiased AI models for fair and innovative machine learning apps. Okay, $39 million market cap. Also, an interesting one that you can start playing around at. You can see it had a little pump. This looks like on Sunday, they started pumping this thing. So you now have a clear low. You now have a clear bottom in for this guy. And I would say definitely worth another look to start accumulating something along these lines. Let's just look at the size of the move back to all-time highs. So once this thing starts getting traction again, it could be a 700%er potentially on the table. So take a look. The stake is in the ground now. You can see it was bought up here at the 0.2 level. That could be a great opportunity. If they send it back there, that could be a great opportunity to buy some more in that region. Alternatively, nibble around in these areas. You can see what's going on here. There's a bit of accumulation and all these things happening in the zone. So a little push here, look for buyers there, accumulate a little position. When the time is right, these AI tokens are going to start popping. And this could be another 5 or 10xer for you guys that you can get stuck into. Okay, let's look at our RUNE situation. So here's this RUNE trade that I was talking about, and the only shining light on Banter Bubbles, or it was, well, pretty much the only shining light, 9.5% up. So RUNE finally coming to the party for us. Really good look. And we waited patiently. We dropped this trade in the Sniper Club a couple of days ago. It's kind of just hovered around. And now it's finally popping off. So what do I like about this now? Number one, we have finally blown the 200-day moving average. So this has been a major resistance area for us. You can see what's going on here. Let me just clear this for you. The 200-day MA, normally a big resistance play. You can see what's been happening here. We've been rejecting. Finally, we have now popped it. So what do I want to see now? If you are bullish on RUNE, you want to see it hold any move down to 5.5. So 5.5 for me is our new support marker. So if you're in the Sniper Club, or if you took this trade, even on Sheldon's show today, I think he gave this trade as well on his show, you have now blown the 200-day MA. What does this mean for you? It tells you that you now have a new support marker. Can I de-risk a little bit now? Yes, you can start raising your stops and almost create yourself a free trade now, because you have a potential area now that could potentially hold on any pullback. So watch the 200-day MA, watch these horizontals. 5.5 is the new support marker, and the previous stop options for this RUNE trade were 5.13, and the next one was 4.8. Okay, so both of those, you can now raise those stops. You can de-risk a little bit, and if you want to sweat it out a little bit more, let's say BTC wants to decide to come push to 60K, you might then see a situation where they send RUNE back all the way. But if you're banking on the fact that BTC is going to bounce at 60K, you'll probably have a situation along these lines. But, you know, for me, safer play, rather be safe out there. You've got your horizontals, you've got your 200-day MA. If we don't start bouncing in that region, then maybe you want to just, you know, you just want to de-risk a little bit there in case they send it lower. So at least you've got a free trade now. And good luck. Good luck. Let's see if we get to our TP1. And that is sitting at 6.66, and then TP2 7.66. So that is the current plan there for RUNE. Okay, CAS. Now, this thing. And where's Chaos when we need him? Is he in the chats today, yeah, Ray? So Chaos missed our CAS conversation the other day. And now Sheldon and I actually jumped into CAS trades earlier today because it was printing some interestingly bullish sort of candles. And here you go, bigger picture on CAS. And what I was saying the other day when I was charting CAS was it's got a lot of work to do a little bit higher up. So we really need to just be patient here with the current situation. But I am in a CAS position, and I will exit if I lose this existing candle. Okay, so if we close under 0.11, okay, you can see these two little clusters over here. So let's say we close under 0.11. That could tell us that there's going to be a little bit of weakness in CAS, and we could be heading a little bit lower. But if you are interested in CAS right now, you can see what's going on. You are at a slight resistance area. You still have the trend in front of you, and you have the 200-day MA in front of you. What do we want to see? Well, again, we want to blow this 200-day MA and possibly reject at the 50-day. But what's going to be nice is that little pullback onto that area. We should start seeing the 200-day MA offering us some kind of support for CAS to maybe launch it then after that trend break. Because I tell you what, the amount of CAS army people that will come out when it finally blows this trend, I think this thing is going to actually start ripping again. So CAS traders, if you're interested, close under 0.11, then maybe you want to cut a little bit, and super bullish once we blow the 200-day MA and once we blow the trend. Then we put our bull hats on and we start firing off that thing. Okay, now, Don Crypto Trades. Remember what he was saying earlier. He said, what are the hot narratives? Let's open this again. Everything bounces, play strength. Okay, what did he say? AI and meme coins. Okay, so let's cover a couple of meme coins. And this could be an opportunity for you guys. Now, follow this guy, African DGen. Okay, he's kind of new to Twitter, but he's not new to alpha. He's not new to meme coin trading. He's an absolute savage. Okay, and what he's done here, he's done a little bit of a recon here on Tucker, POPCAT, and BODEN, and he's basically saying, objectively, looking at unique holders versus market cap, 𝗬𝗏 looks like the best potential catch-up play. Why? Because there's 42,000 holders on 𝗬𝗏, and it's a $78 million market cap. There's 45,000 POPCAT holders, and they $460 million market cap. There's 38,000 BODEN holders, and there's a $200 million market cap. What does this tell you? If we start tying in market caps with holders and things like that and start looking for balance, it looks like 𝗬𝗏 is a potential lagger, and now there's an opportunity brewing for you guys right now on 𝗬𝗏. Okay, we are dipping into quite a hot zone. We are dipping into a horizontal zone. Now look what happened the last few times 𝗬𝗏 dipped into good horizontal areas. What did they do? It bounced. Okay, now we've broken this resistance area here in this first purple, and now we're coming back for our first test into this band over here. So for me, there's a trade on here for 𝗬𝗏, 0.07. There's a potential play right now for 𝗬𝗏. If they do push it a little bit lower and they sell this thing more and it dips down into 0.040, that is pretty much start selling the hamster zone for 𝗬𝗏. If you don't know what 𝗬𝗏 is, you need to check it out. It's his own channel. We must actually let's pull this thing up quickly. Let's just get 𝗬𝗏 here. Let's see. Let's get 𝗬𝗥𝗡. There he is. Okay. If you don't know what 𝗬𝗏 is, here he is. Okay. The latest media channel. Here he is on Twitter, 27,000 followers already, and there's a lot happening here. They're selling advertising here. What are they using with the profits? What are they doing with the profits? Well, they're buying tokens and they're burning tokens, inflationary. Okay, so it's quite an interesting model here, and the more people that watch 𝗬𝗏, the more advertising that comes to the page, the more advertising that comes to the project, the more money that goes into buy and burn more tokens. Okay, so watch a couple of 𝗬𝗏 shows here. Follow him on Twitter, 𝗬𝗏_Coulson, and take a look. And this is why you want to be selling the hamster at 0.04. Okay, that is your next big zone for 𝗬𝗏 that you want to be watching. Okay, and then another banger, okay, that could be worth another look. GUMMY. Okay, we've now moved back into a horizontal zone. This is GUMMY on the 4 hour that you want to be paying attention to. We've dipped nicely into a horizontal, nice little area. And the last time we hit the zone, we bounced higher. Last time we hit the zone, we bounced higher again. Do we get another reaction here on GUMMY? I would say this is an opportunity here to start laddering into some GUMMY. Maybe there's a couple of big things happening in the next while. All these airdrops, and don't forget about the other tokens that are coming out. All these types of things. So don't forget meme coins. Don't forget AI. The man is onto something. He's not wrong with what he is telling you guys. And that's an absolute wrap, guys. Thanks. Oh, look at that. We got balloons today. What? I didn't even plan that thing. Ray, did you see those balloons, bro? Okay, so guys, we know the deal. 60K is on the table for Bitcoin. Otherwise, bulls, let's break that trend. Let's fire up those alts. You can see a lot of these alts are sitting on good areas. And if Bitcoin holds this 382, then we should be okay. And we should start churning up again. Watch that dominance of Bitcoin starts dumping. Could be exciting. Guys, Thursday tomorrow, back in action again. Looking forward to that one. Let's see what they give us tonight. Looking forward to tomorrow. Catch you guys later.